So thank you, everybody, for coming here. My name is Bipop, Gabriele Gresta. I'm Deputy Chairman of Digital Magics, the biggest incubator in Italy. I created Yottio. It's a technology that has multiple video in a TV show and interacts from the people at home to the TV show. I'm Deputy Chairman of Hyperloop that you saw yesterday. My mom says I'm really cute. I born in Arezzo. It's a very little city in the middle of nowhere, near Florence. My father says when I was 12, never touch computer and never touch my keyboard. And I became musician and programmer. Why? Everyone has his own passion, his own motivation. Sometimes we embrace passion because it's our natural course. Sometimes we do things in reaction. Whatever is your passion, my first hint is follow, embrace it, and try to live it and make it your work. This is the most important lesson I learned because when I grew up in a country like Italy, you have to consider that you are in the middle of nowhere with a country that is a mess, with a situation that it's basically everywhere is technology. We live in a country that has 62 million people and 98 million mobile phones. We are the Korea of Europe, right? So everything is technology, is bought and tested before any other country. Not a lot of people knows that in that country, all the new technologies in mobile are experimented. What I did is immediately recognize that to be able to emerge in a music business, you have to be different. You have to create your own blue ocean. And that's what I did. I was immediately strange. So my second hint, be strange. When I say this, you have to create your own market. If you start to compete in the same market that everybody is competing, you will be basically challenged with big forces, and the dark forces are usually very hard to beat. But if you start to create your own market and creating your own music, and as well as your own startups, you can create a big success. Artists usually are a strange beast. They think they are allowed and entitled to not be aware of certain things. For example, money. Oh, no. There's my manager, right? Or about, how to market themselves. No, I'm an artist. I can't really think about these things. In reality, who is successful right now in an environment where yourself are the channels? So you become, as an artist, you become your channel of yourself. Think about what you can achieve with a video in Facebook, with a video in YouTube. So you become your own market. So become your own boss and become your own channel. Whenever you are able to do it, you have to concentrate in the first thing you have to concentrate. It's not about the money. It's not about how, the great idea. Think about who is going to help you. The most important thing when you start up a music business or you start up a startup, actually you are to decide who do you want to be and who do you want to be with. So you have to find a group of people, a team that are better than you. It's very tough to work in a group that has two drummers, right? So try to find someone that can compensate your lacks. I have so many people pitching me startups saying, I have this technology, this and that, and I ask, okay, are you knowledgeable what you're saying? No. And there's nobody in the company that actually is. Find co-founders. If you are developing a technology, the most important thing you have to find is someone that knows exactly what you're talking about. So the team is the most important part that I learned in the music business, but also in startups. A very interesting position that you have, guys, is to be born in Europe. A lot of them, not you, not everybody. Europe, it's a very interesting country. In America, I live in America since 5 years. Everybody thinks that, for example, Germany, it's a copycat, right? You know, Summer Brothers, Rocket Internet. In reality, you saw what happened. They started to see and maybe take some ideas on the American market, but then they created their own industry. In Europe, this possibility, it's amazing. So find and analyze what was already there and then try to build it. We did it. In Digital Magics, we created the largest incubator that basically created 68 companies. We found an amazing way to finance ourselves. That was the first IPO. We did it in 2013 when the market was down, and it was a great success. So I encourage you, when there's a crisis, you should catch the opportunity. That's the moment where you have to invest and you have to try hard. Recently, we acquired Tar & Garden. That's the expression that I basically saw in basically transforming an environment into a creative space that allow people to basically come together and create amazing things. Huffington Post says that it's the best physical thing invented in co-working. Another very important aspect, in your life, when you start to grow, find someone that teach you and can mentor you. That's the most amazing part of my life. I found 5 mentors that basically invested in me and trusted me and make me grow. Last thing, very important to study history. We have a great history in Europe, but in general, you have to study history of your own sector. Hyperloop, for example, when we started to develop Hyperloop, we started to check out, what was the story behind it. And we discovered that Hyperloop actually was there since 1870. There was a project starting below the underground of New York that was supposedly connecting New York to San Francisco. And they actually did it. It doesn't seem that comfortable, but if you study it, then there was a patent in 1904 by Robert Goddard. And in 1969, Scientific America published an entire system that the American government was studying and developing, 2 miles of a similar system that was a vacuum system. So whatever you think you're innovating, try to find something, and you will see there's someone in the past that probably had a similar idea. Very last thing, so important, study your past to build your future. In the building of the Hyperloop, we immediately recognized that the most important thing was human resources, okay? And what was amazing about this project is that through the Jumpstart Fund, we found that we have had a possibility to access to a completely new kind of people. You know already about the millennials, right? But these beasts, they are among us, think in a different way. They don't want an office. They don't want a fixed job. They want to make their passion their living, and you can exploit that. So when you are building your startup, you don't necessarily need money. Hyperloop is an example. We have 420 engineers working for us. Dirk explained you yesterday the amazing amount of human power. But this can be applied to everything. Imagine, for example, we have a great partner on board, even in companies. You don't necessarily need money. Think about applying this to everything. I mean, there's a lot of you that maybe is thinking about creating the new Facebook for cats. I mean, it would be a good idea. By the way, I patented it, nobody has to do it, okay, because I will lawsuit you. But the good thing about this, it can be applied to everything. So yes, it's cool to build the next app, but think global. Think something that can solve real problems. We are working on transportation, but we actually we can apply this to everything. We can solve food, energy. Every field can be, if you imagine to put together the people in this room to solve big problems, We can make it happen. So the last suggestion while you do this, have fun. Thank you.